Hello, everyone. Welcome to After Duty Vets, where we discuss what life is like after the military. Hello, it's Bo again. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about going from active duty to becoming a veteran. We're not all the same, but civilians don't seem to get that. We all, different branches, have different ways of looking at things and doing things. And we're not all the same, but we do have a bond that most people can't understand. We come from all walks of life. Some people come from the inner city. Some people are hillbillies like me. Some people come from the West Coast. Some people come from the East Coast. Even in the military, we understand the differences in each other's stuff and we accept it. Part of the problem that we have is, when we get out, is we expect people to be respectful. We really expect them to be respectful, but they're not. All they care about is themselves. This is a self-centered society that we're in now. When we're in the military, we're in a collective society. It's a team effort. Out here, it's a free-for-all. It's everybody is in it for themselves. And that's one of the things that we really struggle with when we get out. A lot of times, civilians don't understand what's important and what's not. I think I talked about this a little earlier. It's that we look at things differently. We've dealt with life and death situations, a lot of us. So because the internet don't work, the world didn't come to an end. Or because something simple, the world didn't come to an end. Where people are so dramatic, civilians are so dramatic, and they think the world has come to an end over something small and minor. And in the grand scheme of things, we realize that it's not important. People make small things big in the civilian community. And some veterans do too, but as a general rule. One of the biggest problems we have is when we're in the military, we know where that line is. We know we cannot cross that line. That line is right there. We know that. Out here, the line moves depending on who you are. I know when I was in, I know exactly how far I could push the envelope before I started getting in trouble. Here, it's not that way. It's different for everybody. And that's part of the problem is it's different for everybody out here, and we have to understand that. Another thing that we have to face is they think that we're all of one political party. And right now, that's not the case. We're pretty much split. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't care if one of my fellow veterans is a Republican or Democrat. It's irrelevant to me. I could care less. What I care about is they uphold their duty to the Constitution. That was what we take the oath to do. So that's what I care about. We also have a struggle with what's right and wrong. We know what's wrong. We struggle with that perception. We look at things differently. What we perceive as wrong as veterans sometimes, civilians don't. They look at integrity differently than us. They look at loyalty and dedication differently than us. And we can't expect them to have the same mentality that we have. Our stuff is based off of our past experiences in the military, just like the other videos I was talking about earlier. Everything up to this point has been based off of our past time in. So we are who we are because of that time, good or bad. We also struggle with the way civilians do things. We're used to bureaucracy, but we're also knowing that we can get away with stuff if it works. A lot of times we can get away in the military, we can get away with a whole lot of stuff if it worked. And in the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter as long as it worked. The job got done. I don't know how many times I told my chief, it's just like, how'd you get that done? Chief, you don't want to know. You really don't want to know. It got done, that's all you need to know. So, we could get away with things if it worked, as long as it worked. So that's not the case out here. A lot of times civilians just don't like you shooting from the seat of your pants, and they just want it done their way. Sometimes we have to deal with civilian leadership. And oh my God, that can be a pain sometimes because most of us in the military, and it doesn't matter whether you were in 4 years or 24 years or 30 years. We have leadership skills and we know a good leader from a bad one. And when we get a bad leader, oh my God, it is so hard to work for them. And it's hard to keep your mouth shut because you know better. So, we have to manage our expectations with our leaders. And and appreciate the good ones that we have. One of the biggest things that we have to deal with is being asked stupid questions. Did you kill anybody? What's it like to shoot somebody? Did you get shot? Those are stupid questions that actually get asked. What's it like to kill somebody? Do you have any guilt? Any guilt about killing somebody? How could you kill somebody? How could you shoot a woman? How could you shoot a kid? All that stuff. Very inappropriate questions. We have to deal with that. And my encouragement to you is to just find something that works for you. I did what I had to do to come home, and that's it. That's all you really need to say. A lot of civilians struggle with the inability to allow somebody to be wrong. I have a saying, everybody has the right to be wrong, and that's okay. If you're wrong, that's okay. You have that right. Every one of us in the military fought for your right to be wrong. So anybody's ever served in the military, I use that all the time. I'm sorry I disagree with you, but we fought for your right to be wrong, and I disagree with you, respectfully. A lot of civilians don't appreciate the rights that we fought for. Voting is a perfect example. So many people don't vote. All of us in the military fought for their rights to vote, and it really bugs us. It really bugs me. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but it really bugs me when they don't vote. And I'll go back to a thing that it's like, and I've evolved on this, but the Colin Kaepernick thing. Did I like what he did? No, I didn't. But the deal is, he was using the rights we fought for. And if somebody doesn't use the rights we fight for, they'll go away. So he was utilizing the rights we fought for. So therefore, it's okay. Do I have to like it? No. I don't have to like it. Some things you don't have to like, you just have to do. And you have to accept. He had the right to do that. We don't have to like it, but he had the right to do that, and he's utilizing the rights that we fought for. So that's I look at that way, and a lot of people can't understand that. One of the biggest things we have to deal with is our sense of humor. We have a dark sense of humor. We say inappropriate things. That is hard for us because we've dealt with so much stuff. Most civilians don't understand a military veteran's dark side. And all veterans have that dark side to them. It just doesn't get displayed by a lot of situations and a lot of people. People also think we get everything for free. They think the VA is going to give us everything, that we don't earn it and we don't have it. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about benefits, and I said, some people act like we're a burden. And he goes, I don't believe that. I said, yeah, but when they start talking about cutting benefits, they're talking about cutting our benefits, because when they start talking about entitlements, they're talking about the VA as a part of the entitlements that they're talking about. So when they start talking about cutting entitlements, they're talking about cutting our benefits that we've earned and we fought for, which I find troubling. A lot of us have triggers. You don't even have to have PTSD to have triggers. Sometimes you get triggered by just stupid people and stupid crap, because that's stuff that you normally wouldn't tolerate, but you have to tolerate out here. So we all get triggered from time to time, and that's pretty normal. We don't like to discuss our service with some people for fear of judgment. We don't talk about it. We don't want to talk about it because it's really nobody's business. They don't really need to know what we have had to do. So that's one of the big ones we have to face. And a lot of the civilians don't understand our intimacy. And when I'm talking intimacy, I'm talking about the intimacy and the trust of combat veterans or military veterans in general. We're not talking about sexual intimacy. We're talking about the intimacy of fully trusting someone enough to where you stake your life that they're going to be there for you when you need them. And most civilians cannot understand that. They can't understand why we become so close. Even though we may dislike each other, we still have that intimacy of trust. So that's just a few things I wanted to talk about in this video. I know it's a little longer than most of them, but I just thought I'd just go over some of the things that we have to deal with when we get out. And this is just a part of it. There's way more than this. I just wanted to hit some of the highlights. So I really hope I've helped you understand stuff or give you a path, and I hope that you get the life that you deserve. Thanks again. Till next time. Disclaimer: I'm a licensed mental health therapist in California. If you're searching for mental health help, please reach out to someone in your state. If you are within California, you can reach me at the email below. And if you're interested in coaching anywhere in the United States, you can reach out below also. These videos are for educational purposes only, and if you're thinking about suicide, please reach out and call 911.